Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this Saturday we have Overdriven Reloaded Special Edition, a new title in the Switch's awesome library of shoot 'em ups. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. Overdriven Reloaded is a reworking of a title that originally released on Xbox Live Indie Game Marketplace back in June of 2012 on the Xbox 360. Fast forward a few years and it would release on Steam in October of 2016. Then another couple more years and we get the special edition version, which is available on both the Xbox One and the Nintendo Switch now, as well as available as a patch for the Steam version also. So the game itself actually has quite a bit of content to it. So it's a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up that supports up to 4 players, so there's a lot of option for some great local co-op play here, but you do actually have quite a few modes available to you. You can go and play the game in story mode, where you can go and choose to start at any stage, arcade mode where you just go and play through the entire set of stages, and manic, which reduces the number of hits you can take to simply 1 before you lose a life. There's also a set of mini games, which includes the challenges, so you're looking to go and complete various challenges like finish a stage without losing a life or finish the stage under a set amount of time. The line, where you're trying to defend this line from constant waves of enemies, and color reflex, which kind of is this match 3 element to it. There's also a boss rush, so definitely a lot of great content here. As far as the gameplay itself is concerned, though, let's dive into the story. So there are a total of 10 stages, and that's one of the things that the special edition added. The base game only has 7 stages, so we have 3 additional stages in this game. Starting the game, if you have additional controllers, you can play with up to 4 players, and that works great with the Switch, so that's definitely something you might want to look into. Once you get past and select who's in there, you have 2 possible ships you can be, the Prototype 2 and the Prototype 1. The Prototype 1 has more of a spread shot, and the Prototype 2 is more of a straight shot. So we'll take the spread for today's purposes. Diving in, we are given a little bit of a tutorial. We'll skip over that. The voices are actually pretty funny. It's the computer-generated voice that's used to narrate things, so I definitely feel that's pretty fun. It goes and provides for some good laughs anyway. So as we start, we've got a couple different ways that we can attack our enemies. We have our main shot, and there's also the point at which the game's title, Overdriven, actually comes from. We have the ability to use this Overdriven beam, which is a really powerful beam. It unfortunately, though, cuts our speed in half and also drops your HP to 20% of your total current value. So if you are using that, you have to be careful, as taking hits would otherwise will likely be fatal. We do have a shield versus just a 1-up unless you're playing in manic mode, so you can take a few hits in most circumstances. There are also quite a few pickups to obtain throughout the course of gameplay, including health ups that have the red plus symbol on them. But in addition to our shots and the beams, we have the ability to change our color, at least if we're not playing with multiple players. And that comes into play for the match 3 element of the game. So there'll be these blocks that we can change the color to for the color that we are. And if we have 3 of them in a row of the same color, then they will vanish in a typical match 3 fashion. So, it's pretty neat. Also, it also means that we can choose to be whatever color we want while playing through the game in single player, and so, I settled on green, as that is my favorite color. There is also the ability to pick up bomb pickup, which will give us 1 smart bomb to use. You don't actually start with a bomb by default. And then there are a couple of hidden power-ups as well, well, not power-ups. There's some hidden items that we're looking to find in the course of the stages as well. Each stage has a hidden space cow that we're trying to find, and there's also these alien artifacts like this one I'm flying right next to, which you just fly over to collect. Each stage has 5 alien artifacts in it for a total of 50 alien artifacts total if you're looking to be a completionist. The other power-ups that I haven't mentioned, there's one with a 5 symbol on it, and that 5 symbol is a 5 cannon shot. It basically is the same though as once we pick up the stars, and the stars, 20 yellow stars will give us, in addition to points, they give us an overdrive, and those extra modules, which are basically gun pods that add to my firepower. Or you can pick up one of the white stars, which is basically the same as picking up 20 of the smaller yellow stars. And the last pickup I haven't mentioned, so there's the red plus, which goes and heals our health. There's a similar looking green plus, which is actually the 1-up. So if we pick one of those ups, we just increase our total number of lives. And there's also the awesome yellow W power up that we've been picking up, which gives us a really powerful wave shot for 10 seconds, and then it wears off. So you can kind of see the counter at the back of the ship. When you pick up that, it counts down from 10 all the way to 1, and then the wave shot disappears. Here's a one that I can demonstrate. So see, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So here's those blocks I was talking about. So see how one's green? If we go and shoot the other two green, then they vanish, and clears our path. There are some scenarios where we have to use the right color to get through, like this one. If we clear those, we can go and access this alien artifact. And get trapped behind this block that does not want to blow up for us. Alright, so we've made it all the way through stage 1 and have made it to our boss. So the bosses, I kind of feel, are overly tanky and actually not very exciting with their patterns. They generally follow the same pattern, or if they have additional patterns to them, it has to do with them disappearing momentarily and moving around the screen before it's possible to attack them again, not making for the funnest of boss fights. And well, with all that said, also we've explained our base mechanics to the game and the basic progression of the stages. You have your stage, and then you encounter a rather tough, tanky boss. Stage clear. So, my problem that I have with Overdriven Reloaded is it just feels dull, for lack of a better way to put it. There's just not much impact with the way that the game flows, and indeed even in some of my playtesting I might have been a little bit on the tired side, but I found myself actually falling asleep while I was playing through some of the stages. They just were striking me as that uninteresting. I'm not really 100% sure what part of this game just bores me to that level, but it was the way that it was making me feel, to be sure. So in this stage, we're working our way through these landmine fields. Really great for picking up stars and gaining lots of points. So basically, that's what we have here in Overdriven Reloaded Special Edition. So, as far as the minus flavors, like I mentioned, the game itself just goes and strikes me personally as rather dull. The stages go and feel just a little bit too long. The boss fights are largely uninteresting, and it just doesn't feel like it has much impact, at least for me personally. Now, part of it could be I have not played the game multiplayer, and with additional players it might be a funner experience, but just as a single player shoot 'em up experience, it doesn't really stand up well to a lot of the other titles you can go and get out there, especially on the Switch. In fact, even this past week there was one or two others that I could definitely recommend. Let's see, over this one as well. But on the plus flavor side, I do feel that the amount of value you're getting for how much you're paying, as it's only $7.99 US, is actually really good. There's quite a bit of gameplay here, even if it's not like the most interesting to me. If what you see looks interesting, then it might be worth giving a try, as there's a lot of content to enjoy in the game. Alright, that should just about wrap it up for this week's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me this week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.